Liv Morgan's real-life struggles behind the WWE spotlight. Behind the glittering lights, the roaring crowd, and the championship gold, lies a world very few truly understand. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we've got some truly surprising and heartwarming news from the WWE Universe. Liv Morgan, one of WWE's most captivating superstars, has faced more than just in-ring battles. From heartbreaking personal losses, relentless criticism, mental health battles, and an uphill journey to the top, this is the untold story of Liv Morgan's real-life struggles behind the WWE spotlight. Humble beginnings. Liv Morgan was born Gionna Daddio on June 8, 1994, in Paramus, New Jersey. She grew up in the town of Elmwood Park, raised in a working-class household. Her life changed forever when her father tragically passed away while she was still very young, leaving her mother to raise 6 children alone. The loss of her father created a vacuum in Liv's life that would never truly be filled. Her mother, now a single parent, worked tirelessly to keep food on the table. Liv has often spoken about the sacrifices her mother made, working multiple jobs just to support the family. At times, they had very little. Wrestling quickly became an escape. As a young girl, Liv and her brothers would wrestle in the backyard, recreating WWE moments and mimicking the larger-than-life superstars they idolized. Unlike many others, wrestling wasn't just entertainment for Liv, it was hope. It was a dream that promised something bigger than the hand life had dealt her. A dream takes shape. Before she stepped into the WWE ring, Liv Morgan worked at Hooters. She used this job not only to support herself but to stay close to the world of athleticism and performance. It was at Hooters where her look and energy caught the attention of a WWE talent scout. Soon after, she earned a developmental contract with WWE and was assigned to the WWE Performance Center in 2014. She was only 20, but what seemed like a dream come true brought with it a whole new set of challenges. Liv, inexperienced and unfamiliar with the rigorous demands of the wrestling industry, was now competing against seasoned indie wrestlers and athletic standouts. There were times she felt like an outsider. Times she questioned if she was good enough. Her quirky personality, her smaller frame, her lighthearted energy, it didn't seem to fit into the ruthless WWE machine. Still, Liv pushed through. NXT struggles and finding her identity. Liv made her debut in NXT, WWE's developmental brand, in 2015. She had a bubbly, almost cheerleader-like persona that didn't always click with the audience. Unlike some other stars, Liv wasn't handed a big storyline. She wasn't a major focus. She often lost matches, fading into the background. It was discouraging, and Liv has admitted in interviews that during this time, she felt invisible. She began struggling with self-worth, feeling like maybe she just wasn't cut out for WWE. Behind the scenes, she pushed herself harder, training for hours, studying promos, improving her in-ring ability, but the recognition wasn't coming. Her turning point came when she formed a group called the Riot Squad, alongside Ruby Riott and Sarah Logan. It was a unique trio of misfits, outcasts who didn't fit the traditional mold. Finally, Liv was being noticed. She had a purpose, a sisterhood, but even with the Riot Squad, Liv had to deal with something else, the pressure of comparison. Ruby was the leader, Sarah was the powerhouse, and Liv. She often felt like the third wheel. It played on her insecurities. And deep down, she began feeling lost again. Depression, criticism, and fighting back. While fans saw Liv Morgan as a fun-loving, energetic performer, behind the scenes, she was struggling. The wrestling world can be unforgiving. Online trolls criticized her look, her voice, even her talent. Social media became a battlefield where Liv was frequently attacked. Liv began experiencing depression and anxiety. She felt like she wasn't enough, for the fans, for the company, or even for herself. The pressure to constantly smile, perform, and stay upbeat became overwhelming. In 2019, she disappeared from TV without warning. There were no explanations, just silence. The truth, Liv was breaking down mentally. She needed time to reevaluate who she was. She later said she felt lost in the shuffle, and that the WWE version of Liv Morgan wasn't reflecting the real Gionna Daddio. That silence wasn't her end, it was her rebirth. The reinvention. In late 2019, After months of absence, Liv Morgan returned. And she was different. Gone was the glitter. Gone were the pigtails. Liv emerged with a more mature look, a serious tone, and a darker edge to her character. But instead of a strong solo run, her return story was controversial. WWE inserted her into a love triangle involving Lana and Bobby Lashley. The storyline, which hinted at Liv being in a romantic relationship with Lana, was criticized for being tone-deaf and exploitative. Many fans felt Liv deserved better. Behind the scenes, she felt the same. But Liv didn't complain. She did what she always did, made the best of what she was given. And soon after, she started proving herself with gritty performances, real passion, and matches that turned heads. She didn't need to shout. She didn't need a title. Liv Morgan was winning fans the hard way, by earning their respect. Friendship, heartbreak, and betrayal. Liv Morgan's bond with Ruby Riott and Sarah Logan was more than a gimmick. It was real. They were sisters in a cutthroat business. But the Riott squad was eventually broken up, and Liv was left alone. Then came one of the most devastating moments of her career. Ruby Riott was released from WWE in 2021. Liv was heartbroken. She broke down backstage and later said she cried for days. Ruby was her rock, her emotional anchor. Now, she was gone. Suddenly, Liv was floating again. No tag partner, no Riott squad, no storyline. WWE's decisions were outside her control, but the pain they caused was very real. It was during this time that Liv began leaning more into therapy, journaling, and grounding herself in mental health tools. She started speaking about mental wellness, trying to be an advocate for others going through the same silent battles. Rising through pain. In 2022, everything changed. Liv Morgan began getting real momentum. She won matches. She challenged champions. And then, at Money in the Bank 2022, Liv did what many thought impossible. She climbed the ladder. She unhooked the briefcase. She became Miss Money in the Bank. Later that night, she cashed in her contract on Ronda Rousey and became SmackDown Women's Champion. The crowd exploded. Liv Morgan, the underdog, the misfit, the girl who never felt good enough, was finally a champion. But even then, her reign came with criticism. Some said she wasn't believable as a champion. That she didn't deserve it. That WWE was making a mistake. Liv didn't argue. She just kept fighting. Every match, every promo, she gave it her all. Her championship reign may have been short, but her impact was lasting. Physical injuries and the dark side of fame. Success doesn't erase pain. In 2023, Liv suffered a major shoulder injury that took her out of action for months. Wrestling wasn't just a job, it was her identity. And now, it was gone again. The downtime led to more personal reflection. Liv began opening up more about her struggles with body image, self-esteem, and even the toxicity of fame. She admitted that, constantly being judged, by fans, media, and peers, took a toll. That sometimes, she felt like she didn't recognize herself anymore. That she was tired of pretending to be okay. Liv Morgan started focusing more on healing, both physically and mentally. Her return was uncertain. But if there's one thing Liv has shown the world time and again, it's that she never stays down for long. Love, heartbreak, and privacy. Liv's personal life has always been of interest to fans and tabloids. She was romantically linked to former WWE superstar Enzo Amore and later to Bo Dallas, though she's never spoken much about her relationships publicly. She values her privacy deeply, especially after having her personal life picked apart by the internet. Rumors, breakups, speculation, all of it added stress. But Liv stayed grounded by spending time on her farm, reading,